And Shakespeare in Love here on 1FM 91.3 Good Times Greatest Hits. Good morning to you and welcome to the Brightside. Time for our weekly chat with our esteemed guest, Yeo Sha-En. She is a two-time TEDx speaker and author, Singapore's very first happiness scientist as well. And a little bit too happy for our topic for the day, Sha-En.
No, but we're giggling because she and me are going to share one camera.
Right.
Okay. So we're like super close.
But Lavi, you've got your own camera,
no,
don't you?
this one's not quite working.
It's
so
not,
that's why.
It's not shining
there
the
are
light.
reasons why we do what we do.
All right.
So today's topic was inspired because last Monday when Sha-En came in and we were doing the questions together, and then there was this Straits Time headline about how young people in Singapore, among all the scam victims, which are on the rise, right? The numbers are on the rise, are seeking a lot of counselling after falling for these scams.
Yeah.
So she said, that's a really good topic because the aftermath of being scammed, all the feelings, all the emotions, whatever you're going on, and the seriousness of developing mental health issues as a result are actually really, really something that should be discussed.
And there are all kinds of different scams happening these days.
All
We've
kinds.
fallen victim ourselves.
Yes.
We were just talking about this. I'm not sure if you're comfortable to share what happened to you.
Yeah, we went to the expo and we had just moved house. We were looking for furniture. And so we're like, oh wow, wanted to get this table, and then we wanted to get rugs, and then sofa, everything. So I thought, oh great, there's this vendor there, we can one-stop shop, right? I mean, most of us don't want to go around. Yeah, so we paid a deposit, I can't remember how much. And then we got the rugs like 2 weeks later, so we're like, okay lah, at least it's coming.
It's starting to come through.
Yeah, starting to come through, and then when we followed up about the sofa and the table, like, oh wait, delay in shipment from overseas because it was like supposed to be some Italian marble and blah blah blah. And then like 2 months later, I was like, something is not right.
Yeah.
And then we went to check out the company and found that the company was actually in foreclosure, like closing.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
and then we knew already, it's like, how are we ever going to get the goods? Not only that, how are we going to get the money, that we had actually paid? By that time, it was not just the deposit, we already paid most of the sum already. It was a lot of money.
Ouch.
Yeah, so it was such a sinking, awful feeling to know that number one, you're not getting the stuff that you like so much.
Right.
Yep.
And the second is that, oh my god, it's like hard-earned money just gone down the drain. Like, will we ever get it back?
That
it's
is making
sinking
my
feeling.
heart sink. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of the feelings like a scam victim would actually go through in the aftermath in addition to what you felt?
Yeah, I think you feel paranoid. Like after that, we still need to go and find a new table, right? I mean, because we didn't get it, and we're like, got to start over again. And then you go to this furniture shop, and I had to ask my husband, like, is this reputable? Like, really? Like, are we going to get scammed again? And when they ask for a deposit, I said, I don't want to give deposit. And then they will say, like, hey, but we are legit. It's a normal custom to take a deposit.
But this was it's almost
but
your
I was already like,
experience.
I was anxious. I didn't want to spend any more money. I wanted to get back the money. I mean, we eventually did through the credit card. Thank goodness we paid by credit card. So the credit card department was able to kind of get compensate for it.
You're lucky because I did that. I went down that path as well. Same thing, Furniture Expo got scammed. The guy was not selling authentic products. And I didn't receive all my products as well. I tried to go down the credit card route. They wouldn't help. I went to was it the customer case? I went to case.
Yes.
Filed a police report, and there was actually very
that.
little that people could do, I realized.
Yes, it's true. Yeah. So you feel, I think part of the aftermath also, you feel a bit helpless. It's like, there's nothing much I can do. And if I want to do something, I could sink even more money, which really you ask yourself, is it worth it?
Yeah.
And can actually anything be done? So I think it's that whole feeling, right? You're anxious, you're beating yourself up because like, how come you didn't detect this? And then you start to feel helpless, Yeah. So
And like you said, also shame, I guess, would be
a little bit, right?
attached to, which is not your fault, but you feel like,
responsible.
I fell for this.
Yeah.
But,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is a setup. Like in this case, the company was already closing. Why did the exhibitor allow them to be at expo? So it wasn't like I would have known that.
Right.
I mean, you go to these things and
Assuming.
you have some trust.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But
you
then
take for
in the
granted
end,
a lot of
correct.
things. And like I just moved house, so I'm also looking for furniture. And I have to say that it would never cross my mind that the company might be, going out of business, or it might not be able to honor the order or something like that. But I think you've given a key tip as well, use credit card. Pay with credit card.
What you and Carol went through was something where it was a physical. You went to the place, right? And the problem is when people are getting phone scams and or online.
Love scams.
You that one, there is no vetting. It is literally you, and it's a direct thing. So that one, you probably feel a little more shameful, if I may use the right
you
word,
feel shame,
rather
guilt,
than the experience that you and Carol
responsible.
went through, because you assume that there was a layer of protection there. But when it's directly on you,
Yes.
then is there guilt as well? Like,
Definitely you feel guilt and shame because it's like I should have spotted it, how come? And then you start to doubt your own competency, right?
Right.
It's like, I thought I knew people, I thought I knew these things, I thought I'll never be the one to fall for
because
this.
it's always someone else, right? It
Yes.
happens to someone else.
Does that make it harder in trying to like move on from it or recover from it? Because, you're so full of shame and guilt, you don't want to talk about it. And shame can be really crippling.
Yes, especially like say love scams, right? And then like maybe you even told people about it, your relatives, like, I have this.
What's a love scam?
A love scam is where
Like on Tinder, the Tinder swindler. Like people,
Yeah.
you meet
Oh,
people
you
online, and then they start
catfished,
asking
is
you
it?
for
When you get
money.
catfished?
A little bit.
Yeah,
No,
well,
sometimes
they build up a relationship with
Yeah.
you. Sometimes some of them really have a lot of patience and they nurture you for like 6 months.
Like kind of grooming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then they
Oh.
start asking you for money.
Yes.
All right, now we're going to continue this conversation online on Facebook. We are right there, facebook.com/1FM91.3. Hey, do share with us if you too have been a victim of a scam. How did you handle it? You can WhatsApp us or comment on our Facebook video. There's also a chance for you to win a cool prize this morning. Join us real soon. Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to the
guys.
Brightside. It's never a pleasant thing when you are scammed.
Yes.
How does this actually lead to like mental health issues, you reckon?
I think you dwell on it, right? Like in my case, I start thinking, oh my goodness, should I have been more careful? Because I'm quite an easygoing person. And sometimes like, you just like, oh, it looks legit. Oh, just go ahead lah. You don't really check. Then
Yeah.
you start to scrutinize. So I think if you dwell in those thoughts, we call them negative thoughts. And if you don't allow yourself to like give yourself permission to say, oh, it was a mistake. You really didn't intentionally go in to be duped.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're not kind on yourself, then it can become really bad, right? You start to be anxious, your inner critic starts scolding you, and then sometimes you might even withdraw and get very distant.
Yeah.
So I think in the article they talked about the young people after that not really wanting to go out into social
Yes,
situations in
yes.
case people say, hey, why you do that? Huh?
I
It's
see.
like you're not educated like that. And then you have all these preconceived notions about what a scam victim looks like. And then you don't fall into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when it involves a lot of money. I think that is really so hard to recover
Yeah.
from, that loss of money and then the loss of like, I don't know, your self-esteem.
Yeah. And then like love scams also, you got your feelings involved. And that
yes.
sometimes is a double whammy. It's like people are commenting about it. And as if you're not already hurting, you lost love,
Yeah.
and you also lost money.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna from your family and friends. So like,
that's
hey,
like
what's
a
wrong with you?
triple whammy.
Yeah.
So
So
in-
you can imagine, right?
In that instance, you feel very, very vulnerable, right?
Yes,
in the
absolutely.
love scam thing in particular, which I'm
Yes.
sort of just. I think I've read about these where it tends to be ladies who then fall in love with a man who then says, "Can you use these accounts?" Is that
Actually, it's vice. It's both ways.
can
And
go-
I think,
ah, okay.
in general, it's. I think that maybe people who respond to some of these scams could be lonely.
Yes.
Right. I think loneliness is a rising trend that sometimes we don't really pay a lot of attention to, and therefore they might respond thinking maybe this person is genuine. And sometimes these so-called ads or approaches look really genuine.
Sure.
Right. And therefore you start talking, and then they meet your needs in certain ways.
But I feel like, in the recovery from an aftermath of being scammed, right? Not only are you dealing with that at current, the shame, the embarrassment and all that, but like you said, it happened because there was an underlying issue. There's an underlying need or issue. So it's quite two-layered to, try and solve everything, right? Maybe it was
Yeah.
loneliness that got you into the scam.
Some people is durian, the underlying need is durian.
Yeah.
There are durian scams.
That is a
No,
real
sometimes
need,
we
okay?
just want a fast
what's
win, right?
What's
Yeah.
a durian scam?
Shehzad is having lots
a
of
recent
light bulb
one.
I
moments.
had
Yeah,
like epiphany this morning.
wait, sorry. People
Seafood
are trying to.
scam.
He's not online a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not enough.
Because
Clearly,
like on
I'm missing out.
Facebook, like there are people selling durians for really
Yeah,
cheap. this and
seafood.
so people have ordered like in the
Yes.
hundreds of dollars, right, durian to feed their family or whatever, and it just doesn't turn up. They take the
Yeah.
money and they go, or they send fake links. So when they
Yes.
click on the link to pay, it just ends up. One woman I think lost her savings.
Yeah, because they steal your
Yeah,
money.
and
They
the
steal your
website that
personal-
they
Oh,
send setup
because
is
they fish it.
very
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
beautiful. You know, it
Right.
looks proper. Even the name sounds proper. Not what's a proper name for a durian shop, lah, but
Yeah.
it sounds proper
La
enough for
Duran,
people.
La Duran,
Yeah.
La Duran,
Durian.
Yeah, Duran. Yes.
We had a story last week of the seafood shop
Yeah.
that had a massive order of $27,000.
Oh, that's right. This, oh,
And
yes.
they never, obviously, this guy's, prepared all the food, bought all
Wine.
So
the
it
wine.
goes two ways
Yeah.
as
And
well.
he never,
Yeah. Okay, we're going to be jumping back live on air as well. Remember to send us a comment. You can comment on the topic or share with us if you've been scammed before as well. Could lead you to a prize from the Thai Spa worth about $100.
Ooh, that one's gonna get you going. Oh, wake me up before you go, Wham. And in my case, it's very serious. Yes, if my husband has to wake up before me, he must wake me up before he go, so that I will be here on time. So, but never mind. Hey, we're here with happiness scientist Sha-En, and we have a message from Alan. Alan says, "Good morning. This morning got 2 happy scientists. Yes.
Oh, right.
As in,
Because
as
you
well,
guys are
as
in the
well, as
same
well, yes, as well,
camera.
yes.
We have one of our regulars here, Will, our unofficial traffic reporter, who said he was scammed of $650
Oh dear.
because he wanted to sell his printer on Gumtree, and he was attending to his relative's funeral, and until now I'm pretty traumatized by it. It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So
10 years and he's
really-
still thinking about it.
upset about it.
It
Is that
is,
common?
yeah.
Is you finding that quite a common
Yeah.
thing?
I think it lingers because you feel duped. That
Right.
feeling of being taken,
For a ride,
for a
right?
ride is a sucky feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. And therefore it lingers. And as I mentioned earlier, if we dwell on it, then it's like this thing just keeps growing and growing, and that's why sometimes it's hard to let it go.
So what can people do to recover from
Yeah.
a scam?
Yeah, I think practice some self-compassion and let yourself know that, it, number one, you didn't go in intending to be duped, right? And, it could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
People often feel in that moment that their suffering is only on them. But now as we're talking, so many people are sharing that it's
true.
very common. Not that it makes it any better, but at least you know that it's not just you, and therefore it's not that you're dumb or you're stupid or you didn't pay attention. It was just that they are so good. They
had
just
the
find
intention.
all
Yeah,
they
the
have the
scammers had the
intention
intention.
to really get out of you maximum dollar or maximum pain, so to speak, and you did not know it, right? So it's elaborate and therefore it's not within your control. I know that maybe sometimes makes us feel a little helpless, but I think just reassuring yourself that there's nothing wrong with you. I think people start to feel lousy because they think it's my problem.
I just want to add, like,
Yeah.
I think I told you guys about this before. Where I was in Indonesia when I got a call from a policeman who was dressed up in SPF gear, very badly done SPF gear, and an SPF banner behind him. Clearly wasn't speaking with a Singaporean accent. I was like, dude, if you want to scam me, I mean, either you think I'm really dumb, or you're terrible at what you do. And I mean, so I had fun with it, right? I kind of, I took him along for a bit of a ride, but I was almost insulted that, and the thing is, they just throw the net far and wide and hope they can grab someone. They go for vulnerable people.
They do.
Like the elderly,
Yeah,
right,
they
as
know
well.
how to, yes, correct. So they'll know exactly what to so-called exploit. Yeah, and
My heart
therefore
goes out to the elderly, actually.
They're
because
the
they
ones-
don't know, technologically not as advanced as the rest of the society.
Yeah, and I think they're not going to be like, if they come across a link, they're not going to check, is this from a legit source?
Yeah.
And they'll just press, it looks so like it. They'll just press and they'll think, oh, I want something for my grandchild, right? Oh, there's this cute little soft toy, press the thing, and then, even if it's $20, it just goes. And there's so many people that, fall
Is that
victim to
how
it.
family and friends can, I guess, help by
Yes.
with the elderly, for example, is
Yes,
to
reminding.
tell them don't click on these links that you're not aware of. I mean, easier
Yes.
said than done, right?
True. Like sometimes things come in through SMS or WhatsApp calls that
Yes.
call you and you don't know them. It's always better not to pick it up first and verify and check, hey, is this coming from a proper source?
Right.
And even if it comes through your email and everything looks really great, think check before you click anything. So I guess, to answer your question, Carol, like how can we recover from this? We can also realize that, hey, yes, it was really painful, but we are learning something, and maybe share those lessons with people around us so that they also don't have to fall victim to it.
Yeah.
That's really important too.
But if you're really struggling, I think talking to somebody about it. It's really important. Someone that you trust. It could be a friend who understands that, or a mental health professional who can walk you through it, as I think was emphasized in the article as well.
Actually, we do want to talk about it, so we're going to jump onto Facebook Live and talk about how friends, family, or even the counselor can get involved in helping with the recovery for scam victims. Join us then.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Facebook. So Hannah has actually sent in a message to talk about her incident.
Susanna, yes.
Susanna. So Susanna says, my 18-year-old daughter was scammed of $2,000 last year when she put something up for sale on Carousel. And the scammer said that she wants to have the item delivered.
Oh, no.
And
I've come across this. It's like I tried to help my mom as well sell some furniture. Furniture again.
Oh gosh, what is it with the furniture?
And then I put it up and I was so shocked. Like within literally 2 minutes, I have like 10 people saying, okay, I want this item. I'm like, who wants all these rattan chairs? Like, you know. Anyway, so I just thought, oh, maybe it's really so-called like rare, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly they send all these pictures of like, hey, just pay me this pay now. I want it by next week. I will come and blah blah blah. Then I was like, this sounds too good to be true. So I think one of the sites we can look out is it too good to be true?
Right.
Right. And that was like, then my mom was getting very panicky. She's like, really, man? Okay lah, close the deal. I said, no, I think we better go and check. So I did text a relative who's really good with Carousel and say, hey, got such thing or not? You know, because whenever I've ever done Carousel, I've always met the person in person to exchange the item and the money, but not like that. Then so when I went to check the rules of Carousel, I said no, we don't do these kind of things. And when I checked with my relative, he said also this not legit.
Yeah.
You see, but we wouldn't know because we're
wouldn't know.
excited. We want to sell our stuff, or we want to buy
almost
the thing.
immediately, you said, right?
Yeah. So I mean, emotions come into play, right? Because they know how to play on our emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a need for like instant gratification.
Right.
Things
Correct.
like
Yeah,
that.
all our needs. Yeah.
So Susanna has chimed in.
Yeah, she carried on. She just said that her daughter was very down after this happened. But Susanna told her to put it behind her and think of it as an expensive lesson and never ever click on links. I suppose get over it is essentially what she's told in a nice way. But it's not that easy, right?
Yeah, it's not that easy. So as a family or friend, I think if we just say get over it, then the person will feel like, oh, it's on me now. But I think assurance, like what Susanna is assurance that, hey, you know, yes, this was really painful. You know, I'm not judging you, you know, and let's all learn from this and let's take one day at a time. And if they do feel anxious, you know, can be a good listening ear or just assurance that you can be next to them and say, hey, you know, you really didn't know about this. Yeah, that can go a long way.
Hannah's on Facebook and she's also saying every now and then I receive calls from people who act as government officials, like the High Court, saying I've got a notice for some offences that I don't recall. And, you know, it starts to make you second guess yourself. Did I commit an offense? And then you are now in like overdrive and you're wondering, do I click on this link? Do I not click on this link? And that's also happened to me with a fine, like a driving fine.
Yes.
I received the link and it looked legit, like it was from the LTA or something. Thank God I didn't click on it because I went to the LTA website to check first and I had been checking no offences.
So we're feeling gaslit as well.
Yeah.
And that makes you feel insecure.
It does. I mean, it preys on your fears. You see, this is what it is.
Because Hannah actually said, I got a call from this guy saying I hadn't paid my fines and I should do that soon or I get into more trouble.
Exactly. And I think because of that fear, we always respond to our fears because we are afraid of consequences.
Yeah.
And
Exactly
so they
what
know
the
that,
scammers
right?
are-
They know that. It's like I scare you enough, then you just give me some quick money and that's it. And that's exactly what they want. They don't want to follow up with you on any other thing. They just want like your $20, your $100, because if they can scam 1,000 people and get $100 each, that's a lot of money.
Actually understanding the psychology of how the scams work would actually help everyone, you know, then we won't fall victim it so easily. I think Will chimed in. He added that, you know, he was scammed, right? He mentioned about his scam. He said, you know, I was too ashamed to share about it initially and I felt really guilty because, you know, I had my brother transfer the money in order to unlock the fake PayPal account. So, Will, I
and
feel
even
you,
more
bro.
so when a family member like that is involved,
brought into it,
right? Unwittingly, So I think, you know, don't be too hard on yourself. I know easier said than done, but just just remind yourself again that, it wasn't your intention to fall into this. The scammers actually have very elaborate schemes and they prey on our deepest fears sometimes.
I think even the authorities are struggling to keep up with the different kind of
they're
scams
just
that
so
are happening
many.
every single day.
It's like whack-a-mole, right? You get
Yeah.
rid of one, another
10
one
more
pops
pop
up.
up.
It's actually a really sad indictment of what's going on at the moment, that this is a topic for discussion today
That's true.
of
That's
how we
true.
need to deal with this, because look at us. At least half of us have been involved in a scam.
In some form of
We
scam.
know of people who have.
Yeah.
Yes.
People are chiming in.
And
This
you're
clearly
discovering
resonates.
new scams.
I'm discovering durian scams.
Oh, yeah, we're helping you
You
out,
love durian in the
Shehzad.
first place and you
I don't
won't
even
fall
like
for it,
durian,
lah.
so that's why I'm But it means every facet of life is
Yeah.
getting affected by scams.
That's so true. That's a
Definitely.
very salient point, actually. All right, let's go back live on air. We'll wrap up this topic. Find out how we can look out for people, how to spot scam victims. Sabrina and Boys, Summertime Love, here on 1FM 91.3. And yes, do be suspicious if you're getting too much love from some
Yeah,
people.
right?
Especially if they're online.
Yes, those love scams. Oh, horrible, those people.
Which Shehzad is just finding out about today, that you can actually, things like the Tinder swindler, go watch it. It's on Netflix. This guy scammed
I heard about him. But
dozens of people out of their money. Yeah, because they make a bond, they form a commitment, and then,
Yes.
I need a lot of cash. And then they
Yeah.
disappear all of a sudden. So this morning we're talking to Yeo Sha-En, our happiness scientist, about scams and how to recover from that. We discussed some things that we can do, but as friends and family, how can we look out for the signs if we suspect that a loved one has actually been scammed?
Yeah, I think look out for changes in behavior or maybe not wanting to attend family functions. Sometimes they're embarrassed and they feel ashamed, feel that they'll be judged, or good intentions can sometimes come across as very naggy.
Yeah.
Like, why you go and do that? You not enough things, is it? That's why you go and buy, and therefore they may not show up.
Or
Or
condescending.
they'll go and hide,
right?
condescending. Or they may go and hide in the corner. So I think we want to just look out for changes in behavior, or maybe just feeling jittery or nervous, and I think again, let's refrain from judging. Yeah, as we know, if we ourselves have been scammed, we know how easy it is to fall into these traps. Yeah, so as family and friends, let's just be kind, right? And in fact, why not go and check in on them? Is everything okay? Like, I've noticed.
Because they're probably already
Yeah.
feeling so horrible
Yeah.
themselves.
You don't want
about
to kick someone who's
themselves.
down. Or,
Exactly.
Are there
yeah.
self-help groups for scam? I mean, I'm just wondering, is there like Scammers Anonymous or something? I mean, I know I'm jesting a little bit, but
No, scammed
it
anonymous.
feels,
Yeah.
sorry, that's a good point.
Who wants to help the
It
scammers?
feels like, because it's so common now, people should talk about it rather than keeping it inside, and maybe being in a comfortable circle of like.
I
of
think we
like-minded
just got it started lah. Here we are all starting already to
The
share,
support group.
right? Yeah, but I think that's a useful point to talk about it. I think quite a number of the callers called in to say I felt embarrassed about it, and it's true. After that whole furniture thing, I felt really dumb about that it actually happened. But then as I talked about it, so many other people
Did it help
told
you?
me.
Did it help you?
It did, because then it made me come to terms with it, I guess, that yes, it did happen, yes, it's lousy, but again, I'm not the only one. And how would I have known, honestly, that the company is not like every furniture shop I go and search the registry of companies to see if they're
Especially when
still
you're going to like
alive,
a physical
right?
store, a physical place to
Yeah.
buy your products. You've met the
Exactly.
person, you've talked to them, they
Yeah.
told you, you've seen and
And
you've
they got
touched
like
and
the
felt the
proper,
products.
in those times don't have PayNow lah, but they had the proper receipt book.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you can just
Right.
buy that from Popular. But the truth is that they go to great lengths to try to get something from you, right? And we can't predict
elaborate.
everything.
Yeah, you just don't know how
And we
elaborate
can't
the scam
control.
could be. So now we
Yeah.
got to go before we shop big ticket items. I want to see your annual report.
Show
And I'll
me
be
your
paying by
shareholders
credit card.
meeting.
Yeah.
No, I am hyper vigilant when I go shopping now, especially if I'm going to be spending a lot of money.
Ah.
I
Yes.
check all my Google reviews.
Yes.
If I know someone who's purchased from them, whether or not I know,
Wow.
Yes.
and whether the reviews, right? It's not enough to see reviews. You got to see whether these reviews, check
Some
the
reviews
people
can
who-
be bought.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
You got to see
Right.
whether these people have submitted other reviews.
Can I just do a PSA that you can? There are websites that check the legitimacy of
Yes.
a website, so
Yeah.
get those
Right.
checks done as well. If you buy
Trustpilot.com.
online,
Trustpilot, yes.
That's a very good one.
Okay.
yeah,
That's right.
good
to
to know.
check
Okay,
the
Shehzad?
website.
Thank
yeah,
you.
take note,
For
Shehzad.
my next time I have durian. sure.
Yeah. But I think sometimes what could end up as the other side of things is that we go to the extreme and we do all these checks because we are so nervous.
Yes.
So if you do find it's a bit like getting obsessive over it,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
if particularly you have been scammed before, you might end up going on that side to prevent something similar.
So
So
that's another side effect of all
yeah,
this, right?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're also saying it's difficult to pull back from that and be normal again after this, right? I mean, you do want to have some checks and balances.
Yes, I think we always say that after something has happened, if you're operating like that, it's normal given unusual circumstances. But if that behavior is prolonging
Right.
into every aspect of your life, it's becoming pervasive, affecting your functioning, your questioning, even what your loved one is saying.
Yeah.
I would say, reach out and talk to someone, because obviously those feelings of being duped may run deeper and may have
Wow.
triggered something inside.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's worth talking.
And like
to
Will
people
says,
about
it's
it.
been with him 10 years.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
long,
right.
long time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sha-En, for this very enlightening chat. Definitely helping us out, especially for those of us who have fallen victim to scams. It's becoming so commonplace. Not
Yeah.
that it should, but don't beat yourselves up at the end of the day.
This resonates, I think, clearly with people.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, Sha-En. We are wrapping up online. Join us there. Facebook.com/1FM 91.3. For now, though, here's music from Chesney Hawks, the one and only. It's The Brightside. Everybody.
Hey there. We just want to share this from Alun. He's hilarious. He's like, you know what's a real scam?
What?
$9 Hokkien Mee with only 2 prawns. I feel you, Alun.
Alun, bring your own prawns next time.
BYOP.
BYOP.
Yeah, bring your own prawn.
But guys, thank you so much, our Brightside buddies, to Hannah, to Alun for chiming
Thank you for
in.
sharing, right?
Yeah.
Because I know it's difficult, and like what Shehzad is saying, I think talking about it makes us feel better. I think
Yeah.
it's like out in the open.
Let's be honest, misery loves company, right? So if I had a scam, now you tell me about it, oh, that was a worse scam than mine. Okay, I feel better.
Yeah, but also shining.
But I think
your
it's
light,
great.
you know?
I think it's great that we've created a safe place that our Brightside buddies, you guys feel
Yeah.
safe to come forward and share about these stories, because I think there needs to be that conversation so that more will know about it. And we got each other. We got each other's back. Yeah. So thank you to our Brightside buddies for chiming in. Thank you for all that you shared.
Speak soon.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Um,
Good times. Greatest hits. 1FM 91.3.